AITA for refusing to babysit my sister's kids any further after her son lied to her about me? My sister is a single mother with 2 children. An 11 and 7-year-old. The 7-year-old is a boy while the other one is a girl. She works a lot and doesn't have a lot of money to afford babysitting. So I started watching her kids for her for free. There was an incident one day where the 7-year-old had gotten mad at me because I wouldn't let him jump on the couch. I explained to him he could get hurt. And he threw a tantrum. Which was normal. It's what young kids do. Well, around the time my sister gets home, he starts suddenly bawling his eyes out and running towards her. I'm confused, as he was just fine a second ago but followed behind him to greet her. He immediately starts on a rant about how I had a man in the house, and how neither him or his sister had eaten at all that day. My sister was rightfully pissed, and started asking questions. I shook my head, said he was lying, and that she had cameras so we should probably sit down and watch them. She said no, and that I needed to go before she called the police. So I left. A few hours later she calls me and apologizes, saying she watched the footage and saw no man enter the house at all, and that she had seen that her son had refused to eat the dinner I made them. She asked when could I come by next, as she hoped I understood the misunderstanding. But I said I would no longer be babysitting for her. She said that he's just 7, and that kids lie all the time, but I still refused. We went back and forth over the phone insulting each other. And that was that. Our mother thinks I'm being ridiculous for being mad at a kid. But it's more than that. I could have gotten in trouble if the police had shown up and he was saying what he said. AITA? NTA. She threatened to call the police on you. After that I'd refuse to because I wouldn't trust her from there on out to be reasonable. NTA. Most 7-year-olds wouldn't lie to that severity. His mother is allowing him to manipulate her and even threatened you with the police. She has already shown she will take his word over yours. So there is no reason you should watch him again. NTA. NTA. I'm going to be blunt. That kid needs to stop lying like that. Because either he's going to get someone in trouble who's going to sue his family into bankruptcy, or he'll suffer the crying wolf result where nobody believe him because he lied too damn much. Until finally something does happen. She needs to fix her kid and realize she will have 0 people willing to look after her kids. Especially with her attitude. Also, if she cons somebody else into babysitting, give them a heads up. She said that he's just 7, and that kids lie all the time. Exactly, and you know how they learn not to? By having consequences. This should be a learning experience for him. How he no longer gets to hang out with aunt, uncle because of this and will have to go to a day care facility. NTA. If there hadn't been cameras, would she have believed you? Would the cops have been called? Do you realize how bad that could have been? NTA. You told her to check the cameras. She refused and threatened you with the police. She doesn't get to backtrack now and pretend everything is fine. NTA. I am very disturbed at the lie your nephew told. Sure, kids lie. But they lie about taking a soda before dinner or touching their siblings' valued toy and maybe breaking it. They don't make up scenarios where you had a man in the house and never fed them. That was quite the lie for a 7-year-old child to tell and would freak me out and worry me for his future. I would also be upset that my sister told me to leave instead of trusting that I was telling the truth. Why didn't she ask the 11-year-old what was true? She is going to have a major problem with that child in the future. Given the type of lie he told and the fact that she chose to believe him instead of me or even her. daughter would make me not want to be around him either. NTA Your nephew is just a kid, but that was a serious and malicious manipulation tactic that worked. He got what he wanted, was you in trouble and probably a treat from his mother. I do not blame you whatsoever. Next time he might make an even wilder accusation, and because he knows about the cameras now, he might do it when away from them. I would tell your sister to take him to a child psychologist because he might have a mental disorder. I know I sound dramatic, but he told a lie that was not only plausible because you could have had someone other or not fed them, and that shows a worrying sign of his ability to lie at such a young age. NTA. Your nephew made false accusations against you and your sister's reaction was to threaten to call the police on you. Once an adult's reputation is damaged by the lies of a child, things are never the same. There was no damage done this time. But do you really want to give this child another shot at you? Good luck. NTA I'm not a parent. But is it me, or was the lie of that 7-year-old incredibly well thought out and specific for a 7-year-old? Like, when I was that age I wouldn't be able to think that part about the man in the house could be incriminating to Op. Maybe I could think of the food part. But even that was thought through, and the instant tears. Damn, is this normal for a 7-yo? NTA. I'm shocked that your sister would immediately believe a child over her adult sister. Don't get me wrong. I understand that situations like the kid made up actually do happen. But there were cameras and the sister immediately becomes accusatory? That alone would be enough for me to nope on out of future childcare. It's disrespectful. And it's hurtful. NTA. Her 7-year-old has already demonstrated that he is willing to lie and try to get you in trouble when he doesn't get his way. That is very troubling. What would have happened if there were no cameras there to prove he was lying? I don't care that he is 7, I would not feel comfortable being alone with him ever again. He isn't worth you having to prove he is lying to the police. So I started reading this and immediately assumed you were being too sensitive for this 7-year-old child lying. And then I got to this. She said no. And that I needed to go before she called the police. At that point, it was a clear NTA. But your title is misleading. You're not refusing to babysit because her son lied. You're refusing to babysit because she didn't give you the benefit of the doubt when there was a clear-cut way of proving your innocence. But more importantly, why would she want somebody to babysit for her that she thinks would not feed her children all day? It's not her son's behavior that's the issue here. It's hers. I mean, there's something else going on for a 7-year-old to make up that big of a story. But also he seems to know that he can make up a story and his mother's going to default to believing him. That's a little scary. Forgive the 7-year-old, but don't forgive the adult. Your sister. NTA. Ignoring someone. A child. Making up outrageous lies about you. Your sister outright dismissed your side of the story and kicked you out of the house with a threat to call the police on you. And you got into this situation via a favor that people would otherwise get paid for. And she already knew that kids lie all the time, while she treated you like this. NTA. The kid's behavior is irrelevant. Your sister's behavior is. She doesn't bother to check the video. She has to settle the matter until after threatening you with the police? There's no trust there. Let her pay for a sitter. It's cute that she's trying to say that he's just 7 as if she didn't look you right in the face and order you out of her house and threaten to call the police. It's not his behavior you're refusing to entertain. It is hers. And you are NTA. NTA. Rather than watching the video together, your sister threatened to call the police on you. There is no way on earth that Op should ever agree to babysit for your sister again. Sister burned that bridge when she automatically believed her son without reviewing the evidence. I would be concerned about what could happen to the next person dumb enough to babysit for your sister. If your mother thinks that you are the one being unreasonable, then she can babysit her grandchildren. NTA. If she's aware that kids lie all the time, why didn't she believe you when you were telling the truth? You even said to watch the cameras to see the truth, and she threatened to call the police. This isn't just about her son lying. She didn't believe you over her child and threatened to call the police on you. You were doing her a huge favor by watching her kids for free, and she lost that privilege when she threatened to call the cops. She's doubling back now because she still needs you to watch her kids. But that ship has sailed. Don't watch her kids anymore. NTA. The issue isn't that he lied. It's that she was ready to go nuclear without even checking her cameras. NTA. She literally said that he's just 7. And that all kids lie. So why did she believe him over her own adult sister? NTA. There is a difference between a small white lie versus what your nephew said. I think your point to watch the video footage together was a good one. I would be very wary of that child in the future.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. AmITheAsshole is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.